We got a good season on the way. We got a good season on. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here to talk Married at First Sight Season 18, Episode 3. Did y'all meet my husband? If you are brand new to the channel, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. I just need 20 of y'all. 20 of y'all, or however, 20, at least 20 of y'all hit that subscribe button and we will be at 29,000 subscribers. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. So if you are back from another season, you're here from Love is Blind, I popped up on your recommended page. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up the video. If you guys don't do anything else, thumbs up the video. Let's try to get like 700, 800 likes. Do that for me. And then, as always, leave your comments down below. This was a good episode. We got right to it, okay? Wrapped up these weddings. Looks like we are headed to the honeymoon next week. So I'm excited. We're going to go couple by couple. We know the couples by now, so I'm not going to put them up on the screen. If you don't know the couples by now, do your Googles. Have your Googles up as you watch the video, and then you guys can have it, all right? So, we're going to start off with Michelle and David. Okay, here's the thing. Nope, let's just go right into it. So, they seem pleased with each other. So, they are the last wedding that we needed to get through. And when they turn the corner, when she turns the corner and the door's open, she's walking down the aisle. She sees David. You know, remember she wanted her light-skinned nigga adjacent. That's what she got. So that's what she got. She cool with it. And he got the blonde hair, blue-eyed woman that he wanted. So cool. So aesthetically, they got what they wanted, right? So he's so excited that he is over there, you know, dapping up her family and hugging her family and doing the most because his white queen is coming down the aisle. I said, look at this shit here. Okay, so Michelle's people say that she is a small town country girl destined for the big city. She's the perfect balance of tough and sensitive. Cool. David's people say that family means everything to him. He's loyal and they welcome her to their big, loud family. So they then go on and say that he's a mama's boy. I told you about mama's boys, but he's a mama's boy and he's a gentle giant with a teddy bear heart. I said, okay, cool. So far, so good. He tells her that they nailed what he was looking for to a T. I said, I bet they did. He then tells her that, like, after, you know, they do the vows, they back there chopping it up. He lets her know that it is his birthday and that it was his father and his brother that got married on their birthdays as well. And she's like, oh shit, I would have got you a gift. He said, don't worry about it, you the gift. I said, look at this. Things are going well. They're progressing, all right? So as he pours their second glass of champagne, he asks her if she drinks a lot. And she was like, socially. You know, everybody say socially. I drink socially. But she goes on to clarify that she doesn't drink at home. And he was like, nah, me either. I'm not at home cracking open a beer. I said, shit, I drink at home. I mean, socially is socially. So, he was like, I don't drink at home. But then said that he smokes socially. Now, I thought he was going to talk about twins and wins and, you know, that Mary Jane. He said he smokes cigarettes. Me and her at the same time was like, gross. People still smoking squares in 2024? Well, I never. I didn't know people would still, especially at his age, I didn't think people still smoke cigarettes. I said, Claude have mercy. Where's Dave? Oh, he outside lighting the square. I said, my God. Tacky. So he then goes on to tell her that he lives at home. And she said, oh, crazy. So I'm going to let you know right now, David, you got 2 strikes when it comes to Michelle. You smoke cigarettes and you live at home. 3 strikes, you're out. So David then Next thing we know, his control hair is back. I said, "Oh my God, what happened?" The control hair was back. Remember the picture, the Janet Jackson control cover? That's where his hair is back. I said, "Why'd you take your hair out of the nice bun?" He couldn't wait to let his hair down. So they're at the reception. David is talking to her people, and they say that he meets her standards physically. Cool. So they want him to match her without overshadowing her. And I said, see, what that tells me, what that means is Michelle needs to be the star of the show. She wants you to be good and just good enough that you don't surpass her. And that might mean she don't want people to like you more. She doesn't want you to talk too much to other people. You got to be careful about people like that, right? I don't ever want somebody to have to explain to other people, whatever you do, don't overshadow Tammy. She's not gonna like it. That's not a good trait to have. That's not good. That's not good, Michelle. So they then tell him that she likes to be treated special. Give her flowers. Let's not have a love is blind with Monica. Buy her some flowers. Don't have this lady asking for no flowers. Just buy her some. Because we know how it goes when that doesn't happen. So he was like, cool. Her friends then tell David that she's not always open to being vulnerable. And I thought that was interesting because we always have these people come on to Married at First Sight that have issues with vulnerability. And I guess I don't understand how you can feel that you are ready for marriage and you have issues with being vulnerable. To me, myself, that does not make sense. It doesn't. How do you feel that you are emotionally ready for marriage when you cannot be vulnerable? Is it me? Is it me? Michelle, I would hate to have to bring you to the front at the beginning of every recap, but so shall it be. So Michelle is talking to David's people, his parents. And his mom is like, "So why did you do this?" This tripped me out. Michelle said, "Well, I've been single for a while, and I'm starting to think that maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's me because I'm the common denominator in all of my failed relationships." I said, "Get a load of this. Introspection. Introspection. Yes, sis. If you keep having issues in every single relationship, you might be the problem." But I like the fact that Michelle is open to it, that Michelle kind of made like a little lighthearted joke about it. She said, "Maybe I just have a bad picker." She said, "Because when you're sick and you need, that little extra what, you go to the doctor." So she is sick in relationships, so she's going to consult the experts. Now, we are going to use experts loosely because we've seen this show between me and you, but it's cute that she said that. The funniest part was when Michelle said that maybe she's the issue. David's dad said, "What?" I said, "I know." Right. Right, Daddy David. I was the same way. So she then asked his parents, "Why he live with y'all?" Because that's all that's going through her mental, right? And his mom was like, "Well, he can leave whenever he wants to, but he's there because he needs the love and support." Or she was saying that they needed his love and support. Look, he's at the house because he wants to be. I feel like that's the answer. He's at the house because he wants to be. And I don't like the fact that Michelle asked his parents that, because I just kind of felt like that was in poor taste. If you ask me, like there are so many other things that you can ask them. Why use this moment to ask his parents why he lives where he does? You know what I mean? I just felt like that was a wasted question. But his parents made it very clear that, like, I'm not gonna kick my kids out. So if he wants to be here, he can be here. We have an open door. If he wants to leave or he needs to leave, then he can do so, but we're not holding him hostage. He also doesn't have to live with us. And I like that they keep stressing that he doesn't have to be there, he just wants to. So Michelle is talking to her bridesmaids, and she's explaining how things are going okay, and then she's like, he's all in and he's great, but I'm very hesitant, and she gets choked up. And I said, well, what did I miss something? They go to the restroom, and she's like, he lives at home. They was like, oh, how you know? And she was like, he told me. So here, full transparency, I would be the same way. To be honest, I would feel the same way, right? We're coming into this process. I'm expecting to be with somebody that is 1,000% ready to be married. By societal standards, right? We expect a person that is 1,000% that is ready to be married, that signed up for this process, to not live in their parents' basement. Okay? We saw the same thing on Love is Blind, where Nick is living in his parents' basement. Okay? Now, do I think that Nick needs to live in his parents' basement? I don't. Do I think that David needs to live in his parents' basement? I don't, but they want to. And I just kind of feel like we've seen people that have been in these same living situations. We don't always judge them. Because if I recall, Jasmine from Married at First Sight, remember Jasmine and Eris? Jasmine lived at home too, and there was no judgment across social media. So I'm interested to see what pops up in my comments and on social media about David living at home. But I feel, Michelle, it would irritate me a little bit too, but I don't think I would have such a visceral physical reaction the way that she does. So one of her friends was like, look, he comes from a family with very strong familial bonds and strong ties. Like, it could just be like a family thing. Like, take that into consideration. Don't trip, don't dip on it. Just, sit with it for now. So David is looking for her. Where's my wife? Where's my wife? So she comes back, and she has to play it off. David's brother gets up there and it's like, happy birthday, and gives him a box of like chips. Like, they went to the Sam's Club, to the Costco, and then got like the 72 pack of chips. And David was geeked because he like flaming hot. He like hot Cheetos. I said, oh, okay. No, I don't like them, but no judgment if you do. But then he turns into Oprah. You get hot Cheetos. You get hot Cheetos. You get hot Cheetos. And I said, what the fuck is going on here? And you can tell that people weren't really into that because they were kind of like, oh, I mean, I guess I'll take the Cheetos. They like, I probably would have took me a bag of Cheetos too. To be real, I'd have took some Cheetos too. But yeah, you can see that Michelle, she got the light skinned nigga that she wanted, but he's not what she wanted. So, but this is what you wanted. So they get to the hotel room later, and these rooms are nice. Okay, Chicago, what hotel is this? But the rooms are nice. They have a little living room situation, and then their bedroom is up the stairs. So they're talking, and he lets her know that he's not ashamed of living at home, because, and that's why he told her right away. So cause she brought it up, and he's like, I'm not ashamed of it. And the reason that I told you right away is because I wanted you to hear from me and not from somebody else. And you have to respect that about him. He didn't shy away from it. He said he's not embarrassed by it. He once again says, I live at home because I want to. Not because I need to, not because I have to, but because I want to. So it's really on some, either you're going to get with it or not, Michelle. All right. So let's pan over to Carla and Juan. They accents be so thick when they're talking to each other. Then when they with their people, they sound like me and you. But so they're taking the pictures, and he's asking like, where are your parents? And she's like, oh, my parents aren't here. My dad didn't want to come. She said her dad don't even take pictures. I said, why? Why he don't take no pictures? Her dad doesn't take pictures, and like I said in last week's recap, and y'all tried to correct me for some reason, her mother is not there because her mother wanted to support her father. So she lets him know my dad didn't want to come, and my mother didn't said that she wouldn't feel right coming when my dad is not there. Again, I think that's kind of shitty on her mother's behalf. So you're willing to support your husband not coming more than your urge to support your daughter. I don't quite understand that, but that ain't my family. So she then thinks that her dad would love the love and support that she's getting from Juan's family. And Juan's family seems very inviting and happy to be there with her. They're very warm and open. So the family seem, and the wedding parties seem to be getting along. So we find out that Juan's parents both live in North Carolina. He moved to Chicago just kind of on his own. Cool. So we get to some stuff now. So Carla said that she's not a routine person. She kind of makes her hours as she makes them. And Juan said, "Oh, I'm big on routine." And she looked kind of taken aback by that. One thing I would never understand, because I work a 9 to 5, right? I am a salaried employee, but I work a 9 to 5. So while I can make my own hours to some degree, I typically get to work every day at the same time and I leave every day at the same time. I will never understand people that work 9 to 5s or that are just more routine people when we state some stuff like that, the way that some people look at us as if we are foreign aliens. Why? Why? He's a routine person. Like, she looked almost in disgust, which I didn't quite understand. So he then talks about how he made this app because when you're sitting in the airport, you don't have nothing to do. You don't have anybody to talk to. So I guess the app is for you to connect with other strangers that are going to be going to different states and countries or whatever. But he made this app, but it's not turning a profit yet. So you out here on your woo woo, your Lawrence from Insecure, why are we talking about this app that you are clearly wasting money by pouring into it if it's not turning a return? So then somehow she starts rambling about love and connection. And I was like, Carla, it's given that you got a little liquor in your system because it didn't make sense to me. So we see Juan meeting up with her people, and I don't feel like they talked about a whole lot when it came. Like, they talked about how we know that she's a very non-routine person. She's very like go with the flow. Like, that's how she is. But I feel like his people gave more. So when Carla was meeting with his people, it was his two brothers, Juan Pablo and I can't remember the other guy name with the glasses, but she thinks that Juan is chill and cool like herself. Get this though. She likes that he's an entrepreneur and goal driven because she has all these dreams. Oh my God, all these dreams and ideas. And they're just kind of there. And then he can help me. He can help me because my head is up in the clouds, but he can get me in line. Basically, what I heard is, yeah, he can come in and I have this idea that I can just kind of float and he can come in and he can do all the work because he's more routine than I am. That's what I heard. She then says, and I can teach him to go with the flow. I said, Carla, girl, go sit down somewhere. Go on somewhere, Carla. Something about Carla. And then we see in the trailer that, Carla quit her job. So I told y'all something about Carla was not sitting right with me. I'm very rarely wrong about this. Very. So they get to the hotel room and they're getting undressed for the night. And she's saying how I usually sleep naked, but I'm going to wear clothes tonight. I bet the fuck you will. Y'all are on TV, sis. You will have on some clothes. And then he pulls out this guitar and he starts singing this song. And I said, Jesus, take the wheel. What is going on here? Very reminiscent of Sal from Love Is Blind when he was doing all that singing on that ukulele. I said, this was a lot. What a lot. But cool. Let's talk Madison and Allan. All right, so Madison said that Allan is not her typical type. Okay, we could see that, but I think she's being pleasant enough with him, right? At least for now. So he feels that she's his dream girl. So he is over the moon. And she's like, "Yeah." So Madison is talking to his people, and she feels that Allan is a true gentleman. Like he's been opening doors, pulling out her chair, and she thinks that they were matched because of their similarities. Now she said, "Now physical attraction is important, but she said that it comes in different ways, from emotional security to mental security." I want to read that one more time. Let me wet my whistle, because maybe it's coming out differently for me. Okay. She said physical attraction is important. The aesthetics. Okay. Physical is how you look. I just want to explain it, not for y'all, but so we can say it out loud to see if it makes more sense, okay? Physical attraction is important, but she said it comes in different ways. So she is saying that physical attraction comes in different ways, from emotional security to mental security. Now, on one hand, sometimes somebody's personality can make them look better. Sometimes people's intelligence can make them look better. But I have never heard somebody say that the emotional and mental security, I guess, but maybe to Madison, okay, you giving her a sense of mental security, you giving her a sense of emotional security. And emotional security to me is like emotional intelligence, that type of stuff. If you're able to give her that, then I guess you look better. Okay, cool. But she said that what happens for her is that people will say, "Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. You must be snooty and stuck up and snobby." And I kind of feel like, okay, got a little too much dip on your chip with that one, but sure. And she said that she feels that way because she was not always pretty. I think her self-esteem has suffered a little bit, so I'm a little roll with it. But she wants somebody that is going to put forth effort and commitment. She wants you to try. She doesn't want you to she doesn't want you to like something just because she does, right? Because she thinks that when you are a huge people pleaser like that, then that breeds resentment. And I agree to a certain extent. Sometimes there are people that go along to get along, right? And they don't realize they're being yes men until it's so far past it, and then resentment grows. When you're changing so much of yourself, when you're making so many concessions for somebody else, whether you are deeply in love with that person or not, sometimes, a lot of times, resentment starts to grow. So she's worried about that, okay? Allan meets with her people, and he said that he has, romanticized life, and we get that. So Allan is one of those people that came from a broken home, right? His childhood isn't what he wanted it to be or what he thought it should have been, and so he has in his mind crafted what he thought was the perfect childhood. Thus and such, what he thought is the idea of the perfect marriage. And I think that's going to be Allan's downfall, because he's going to be so busy trying to not become what his parents were that he's going to become that by default, right? So he said that the best outcome out of this is that he found his person, where they're old and they're on their walkers together. He wants to grow old with somebody. So Allan said he was in a 4-year relationship. It ended a year and a half ago. He thought that she was the one, but it wasn't healthy. And it was to the point where if he came home a couple minutes late, she wanted the receipt from the gas station to prove that he stopped. Why? What happened that you got to that point with her? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that Allan did anything, but I kind of feel like what happened, what transpired, what portion of the story are we missing? Because something else happened before she started checking dates and receipts. So he's big on mental health. He said he was in a custody battle for 14 years. Now, I'm sorry, but to me, that does not make sense. And like I've told y'all, I am not a child of divorce, right? So I don't know what it's like to go between your parents' house or custody battles or anything of the sort. But did his parents divorce when he was 4? I had to go back up through my notes, but why would y'all be in a custody battle for 14 years? To me, that doesn't make sense. Somebody please explain it to me, but it doesn't make sense to me. So he wants to form a foundation where love can grow between the two of them. I hope Alan gets the love that he is like so desperately craving in one way or another. Later on, when they are headed up to the wedding suite, Alan got in bed with a beater and his tidy broccolis. His underwear was pink with little broccolis on there. I said, "Oh, look at that." She don't like it. I mean, it didn't bother me. Okay, yeah, if that's what he want to wear, let him. Y'all just going to sleep. I felt that you could have had a more mature draw on, but no, I didn't. I didn't see an issue with it. So let's talk Camille and Thomas. So neither one of them knew what the salad fork was, and that's unfortunate because Thomas is in his 40s, I believe, his early 40s, and Camille, I just expected better from you. So he then tells her that he does a lot of things that people might think is weird or annoying. And she was like, "Okay, what is that?" He eats one thing at a time on his plate. The fact that he is very type A, whatever. But and I know people that eat one thing at a time like that, but it makes me wonder. So, if you're sitting down and let's say you have chicken, rice, and broccoli. So you eat all your broccoli, then you eat all your rice, then you eat all your chicken. So what do you do Thanksgiving? You eat all the dressing, then all the yams, then all the macaroni. Like you are missing out on the goodness that happens when you get a little bit of yam and a little bit of macaroni on your fork at the same time. You are missing the magic when you get some dressing on your fork and then a little bit of that cranberry sauce slide over. Oh, Thomas, you're missing out on life, babe. You are missing out on life. But no, Camille said that she eat like that too, and she never noticed, so they can go eat weirdly together. Cool with them. So he tells her he was in a 9 year relationship that ended 4.5 years ago. And he said it ended because they grew apart towards the end. Sometimes relationships just fizzle out. Doesn't mean that one person did something wrong, they just fizzle out. That's the way that he is phrasing it. He said that she wanted to be married, the woman he was with, but he wasn't sure about it himself. So now we have Camille in her confessional saying, "What the fuck?" Because now she's worried about his ability to commit. Because how y'all gonna put me with somebody that was in a 9 year relationship that did not want to get married? How do I even know if he's ready now? How will I know? So we find out that her longest relationship was 5 years that ended 7 years ago, and she's had some one-off relationships that have lasted about a year in between that, and she's never lived with a man. So she said that a lot of the guys that she was dating just never knew what they fully wanted, and girl, that's the dating scene. So Camille is with his people, and they tell her that he was happy when he saw her, which is a plus. So they then ask how she feels about conjoining their families. So his brother is like, "Yeah, because we hang out and we have pool parties and barbecues and sleepovers. And oh my God, do you want to do it too?" And I'm like, this is the question y'all are asking her about pool parties? Y'all ain't got nothing else. I guess. I guess. I guess. So she says she's all for it. She told the experts that she wanted to be with somebody. Um, what was that? Okay. She tells the experts that she wanted to be with somebody that is very family oriented and that is big on family. So that was very important to her. So she's wondering how like if he's really ready for marriage, right? Like it sounds like he just doesn't want to be the single friend anymore. Like honestly, is he really ready? And his friends are all saying that he is. When he wants something, he really commits to it, whatever the case. And they say that he just got stuck in that last relationship and he felt compelled to stay. And I'm like, all right. Meanwhile, Thomas is over with her people and he's telling them about the 9 year relationship. And he said that it ended because he wasn't a good boyfriend. And they're like, well, what does that mean? And he said that he kind of stepped outside of the relationship. So they're like, what does that mean? So we find out that Thomas cheated. After he cheated, he said, because you don't do that for no reason. There's a reason that you did that. He went to therapy for 6 months and he realized it was communication. I'm sorry, but Thomas is giving bullshit artist. Thomas wants to be married because his friends are married. Thomas wants to be married because his brother is married. Thomas has all but said it. Thomas has not given us one honest, good, down from the root, from the bottom answer as to why he wants to be married. It's all because he wants to make his dad proud. You know, he feels like his brother is just kind of moving through life before him, or his friends are married. Thomas isn't saying he wants to be married for a companion. He's not saying that he wants to be married to build a family, or that he wants to be married to find his person, or to find love, or to find somebody to grow old with. He's not saying any of that. Thomas always tells us he wants to be married because it'll make his dad so proud. So they're asking him, Camille's friends, like, how are you going to be able to work through, like, kind of tapping out on the relationship when y'all are only going to be together for 8 weeks? Like, you were in this 9 year relationship, and even though he said that he was starting to, step away from it, how do we know that that's not going to happen within these 8 weeks? How do we know? He chalks it up to, well, that was when I was younger. I'm older now, so it's okay. Who put them together? Was it Pastor Carol? Was it Dr. Pepper? Who put them together? I would like to know. So we see them later when they get up to the bridal suite, or the honeymoon suite, and she's talking about her silk pillowcase. He's like, I've heard of those. Have you not dated a black woman before? What do you mean you've heard of one? But they seem to be getting along. So far, so good. So cool. I got my eye on you, Thomas. I don't know about you. So then we get to Emmon and Ikechi. And here's the thing with Ikechi. I think he's on here for exposure. I do not think this man signed up for love. I do not think this man came onto the show to find a wife, right? You signed up in Houston. They didn't match you with anybody. That Houston season was a lot anyways. And then now you're coming here and the first thing that you do is sign up again. All right. So he's asking her, why did you sign up for the show? They're at their reception. And she said that she's been single for a minute and she doesn't like the dating apps. So she doesn't want to be single forever. So, hey, let's come on TV and find a spouse. She's given very thirsty. Now, I understand that Emmon does want to be married. I think that she wholeheartedly does want a husband. But it's given thirsty, sis. Like, it's almost cringe levels of thirst coming out of her. He said that it's been a desire of his for a while. So he's been praying for her for a while, to the fact that he even wrote a book of letters to his wife. So she said, why you ain't give me the book? And he said, I can write you a new book. You know why he didn't give it to you, Emmon? Because this book is probably going to be on the Amazon as soon as this season wraps, for the low price of $7.99 for a paperback, maybe $12.99 for a hard copy. And if you want the Kindle version, that might be $5.99. The way that he keeps talking about all these letters he wrote, and he ain't give her a letter that... Where are these letters, Ikechi? Where are they? because you wrote her that poem before y'all got married, literally before y'all got married. If you got a whole fucking ass book of letters to your wife, you couldn't rip out a page and give her one? And this is you longing deep in your loins, and you, okay, it's given I want to come on here to sell my book, but cool. So she then asks if she is his type. He said, I think you're beautiful. I don't have no type. That means no. Read between the lines, Emmon. While you are a beautiful woman, you are not his type. But then he's like, yeah, I wanted a black woman. Give me a Michelle Obama. Because what do people think about when they think about Michelle Obama? How she supported Barack's career. How she had Barack's back. How she sat back and did everything she could to help prop up Barack while supporting him. Not to say that Michelle is, not a very accomplished woman herself, but that's what we hear about in regards to Barack. How she supported him. That was interesting. I thought that was interesting. He then said that he has something for her. We get called to the middle of the dance floor, and we have somebody that flew in from Germany to sing this song while he gets up and he decides to spoken word in. It felt like we were in a Tyler Perry movie. Your soul and your spirit, it's you. I said, what is going on here? It wasn't given. I didn't get that vibe from that. It was cringy. It was cringy. We keep hearing about this book that he wrote. It's starting to get on my nerves. So then we see Emmon meeting with his people, and she said that dating has been hard, and that his friend said that he was cheated on, and they didn't know that he was even going to come back to love because he had been cheated on. But you know what he did after that? He wrote a book of letters to his wife. Every day he wrote a letter to his wife. But she ain't seen that one letter yet, because it's going to be on Amazon for the low price of $9.99 for a paperback, and then for the hard copy, $12.99, and that Kindle is going to be $5.99. Letters to my wife. Watch. While Ikechi is meeting with her people, we find out that his last relationship was 12 years ago. So he is talking to, I think that was her cousin that gave her away. And this was so hard to watch because her cousin is asking him very direct questions, and he's giving very quick one-word answers, very, very vague. It comes across very untrustworthy, to be honest. Are you ready for marriage? Yes. You want to get married? Because I'm ready. You want kids? I'll take a kid. Like, the way that he answers, if you didn't catch it, go back and just watch that snippet. Just watch that snippet. The way that Ikechi was talking about this process and what he's looking for and about him gave very vague, even down to when her cousin was like, look, she doesn't have a lot of family here in Chicago, but her friends are her family. Now, you came over from Houston, so, and when it comes down to it, do you plan on staying here? And our Ikechi would say was, yes, I re-signed the contract. I'm looking to build here, because letters to my wife, I've been working on this book every day. I wrote a poem. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. When they got up to like the bridal suite, whatever, he was making it seem as if he was into her. I don't think he's into her. I don't think he is in this process for the right reasons. I don't. And I'm going to hate to see Emmon get her feelings hurt, but I feel like it's coming. And then it's starting to look like the couples that maybe switch are Ikechi and Madison. I don't know what's going on, but let me know what you guys thought about this episode. We are moving on through. Now, what I'm hoping, fingers crossed, is that we now do not have to see these people meet up with their in-laws once again the next morning like we typically get. I'm hoping next week starts off with everybody boarding the plane to the honeymoon. But let me know what you guys thought about this. If you don't do anything else, like the video, leave your comments down below. I need at least 20 of y'all subscribed to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.